actress Jennifer-Beals, thanks for checking in with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Excellent. So you're currently starring in the NBC series Taken, which airs each Monday night at 9 Central. You play the character Christina Hart, the Deputy Director of Special Intelligence. That's a heavy job. She doesn't have much free time, in storylines, I'm guessing.
No, she doesn't have a lot of free time. And the free time that she does have, she devotes to her orchids, which is quite lovely. But yes, she oversees an elite team of secret government operatives who basically deal with America's national security emergencies. So you can imagine she's very, very busy, and she's holding a lot of secrets, and she's definitely in this terrain of moral ambiguity when she takes Brian Mills, who's the character from the Taken films. She takes him under her wing and has him join her team.
All right, super. A little later in the program, we'll be speaking with one of your co-stars, Gaius Charles, so I guess we're all about Taken on this particular show. So you're also co-starring in the new Amazon TV series, The Last Tycoon. When's this start actually going to hit the airwaves?
You know what? I don't know when it starts airing. I have one more episode to shoot, and I've shot a few already, and it's such a pleasure. It's a character that's 180 degrees away from Christina Hart, and that she's a movie star from the 30s. Her name is Margot Taft, and I had the great pleasure of working with Kelsey Grammer and Matt Bomer on that project, and
very cool.
It's been a lot of fun.
All right, super. Well, you have a really long list of credits, like 50 films and counting, and no, I'm not going to go down that flash dance road, but I did interview you on my TV show way, way back on a film that I don't even know if you remember, Blood and Concrete. It was an interesting indie film.
Oh, my gosh, wow, yeah.
Yep. You were very nice, by the way, back then. I'm sure you're still very nice these days, too, but anyway, so my question is, do you have vivid memories of each of your movies, or are some just a faint memory after so many years of constant work? I mean, do you have to look at your own IMDb to remember some of them?
Some of them, when the title comes up, I have vivid memories, for Blood and Concrete, for example. I got to work with the wonderful musician Andy Preboy because I had to sing in the film. And I remember rehearsing for that film, and just what a pleasure that was to work with him and to try to sing like that character and behave as that character.
Right, okay. Well, are you and Jodie Foster the only Hollywood stars who hit pause on their movie careers to stay and graduate from Yale? I was just curious. Not many would be willing to take that risk, that the career would still be there after graduation?
There's a lot of people, I think, that have now. I know
really?
Natalie Portman went to college, and Claire Danes went to college.
Oh.
And there's probably many more that I'm not aware of. Obviously, Brooke Shields went, I remember, because she was at Princeton at the time that I was at Yale.
Wow, a whole lot. Okay, well, I guess my question was, did your agent bug you much while you were at school to get back to work ever, or did they leave you? Did the agency leave you alone?
She was really wonderful, and she would send me scripts, but she knew that I was working hard at school, and so she really sent me the ones that she was most excited about.
Oh, all right, super. Well, Jennifer, you're not one of those soft Hollywood movie stars, as you are proficient in kung fu, kickboxing, and you compete as a triathlete. I take it you don't sip fine wines while getting your nails done much, because you're truly badass.
No, but I don't know where this thing came out where I do kung fu, because I don't do kung fu.
Yeah, but it sounds cool.
Do kung fu.
It sounds cool.
That would be amazing. I did study some martial arts, but not really. No, I would never call myself a martial artist, but I did do triathlons. I will cop to that.
Wow. Well, even if you made one move in kung fu, you could still say, anyway, never mind, that's just my take. I would take it, but all right. It's on the internet. Come on. So, all right, let me ask you this.
I love it that I've been given all these skills.
That's right.
It's phenomenal. It makes me want to go take a kung fu class.
That's right. Okay, so you were, let me hit you with this question. If you were suddenly anointed king of the world, what would be your first decree? Mine would be like free HBO and Showtime for everyone on Earth, after food and water, of course. But what would your first...
Well, I'd reinstate the Clean Water Act, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd start cleaning up the planet, because without the planet, there's no future. So I would start there with environmental...
They're kind of dismantling every basically oversight and every protection in our existence in this country right now. It kind of seems that way, huh?
Yes, it feels that way. And I remember the days flying into Los Angeles where you couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I remember, rivers being so filthy. I remember that. That was in my lifetime. And we can't go back. We cannot go back in time.
Yeah, you could see the air. I remember back then. It was kind of like Beijing or something, right? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and it not that it's perfect now, but back then it was really horrible.
It was, yes.
Spud, please do not insinuate that President Trump is in favor of dirty air and dirty water.
Excuse me, Jennifer, just for a second.
Yes.
What?
I've never heard him or anybody in his cabinet state that they were pro-pollution. All he and his people are trying to do is make America great again.
But does he have to let the coal companies go back to dumping their waste into nearby streams? Does the government really need to tell automakers now there's no need for better mileage requirements? And does that doofus new EPA head really have to request his agency cut their budget by 24% to start? Really? You'd think that the head of Exxon or something was now working in our government.
You really need to read the Fox News website as they answer all of your concerns about issues like clean air and clean water. You obviously are reading fake news. Don't buy into that propaganda, Spud.
Okay, thanks for the heads up. I feel a lot better now.
See?
Look, I'm still going to Home Depot this weekend and buy a buttload of those respirator masks, and you'll be begging me for a few of them real soon, okay? But let me get back to Jennifer. I gotta finish this interview.
Okay.
All right, well, I know you have so many things going on in your life. I'm going to hit you with this last question. I'm going to close with it. I don't know if I hit you with this 20-some years ago when I spoke with you, but I asked most of my guests. So, Jennifer Beals, what's been your most memorable moment to this point in show business?
My most memorable moment in show business. You mean on set?
Yeah, just anything at all. Anything just jump out at you, a little quick thing that...
Well, the thing that jumps out at me, and I wouldn't say a moment, but I did a show called Proof that really meant a lot to me. I loved doing that show. And that was a very, very special show for me.
All right, super. All righty, well, let me say again that the show you star in, Taken, airs each Monday night at 10, 9 Central. I want to thank you so much, I guess I could say, for coming back on my show. So, yes, I want to thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right, Miss Jennifer Beals.
Well, happy Monday, 6:15, 100.7 WHUD.
All right, we all know actress Jennifer Beals. She splashed onto the scene in Flashdance, and now tonight she is starring in Taken on NBC, based on those Liam Neeson movies.
It's a modern-day origin story of the character Brian Mills, who you know from the films. And, that character in the Taken films is so extraordinary. The guy can do basically anything. And, I, for one, wondered, how did he learn all of these things that he's employing in the films? And what's fun about the television series is that because it's an origin story, it shows you those formative years of when Brian learned some additional special skills that he employs later on that you see in the films. And I play Christina Hart, who's his mentor, his boss, and she's the special deputy director at the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and she oversees this elite team of secret government operatives who basically deal with America's national security emergencies. And she takes him under her wing for very selfish reasons, because he would be a great addition to the team, and he joins the team for selfish reasons because he wants to revenge his sister's murder.
So here you find yourself the star of a television show. You are playing the female lead. How has this changed your life any?
It means I spend a lot of time in Toronto. I've worked on TV shows before that have had a really lovely audience, like Bellward was an example of that. And it's just really such a pleasure to immerse yourself in these different worlds. And for me, taking on this character of Christina Hart, who works in the intelligence community, and having to do the research around that, I have such respect for the people in the intelligence community who basically put their lives on the line every day, and they do it in the shadows without any accolades or any rewards, and they hold all these secrets, all these things that if we knew about them might lead us to never leave our house. They're dealing with these issues every day.
All right, we know about secretive issues. We both know the total and the high-low game, and we're feeling the pressure of national security.
But, you and I have said that before off the air while we're watching the news. If we knew what was really going on, we'd probably never leave the house.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So I'm glad she's out there portraying the people that we owe so much watch to.
Absolutely. It's 18 minutes after 6 o'clock.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Beals, and you're listening to Mike and Casey on WHUD.
Great. Jennifer? Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Great. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. Now, are you in New York or L.A.?
I'm on the West Coast.
On the West Coast, so it's super early for you.
Yes, it is.
Plus daylight saving time. That's got to get you screwed up, huh?
Well, except for I just came back from Europe, so I'm almost there.
Oh, okay. So that adds even a different wrinkle to it. Okay, well, tell me about Taken. I watched both episodes last night, the pilot and the next episode after that, and I really like it. Tell me about the project.
Well, it's an amazing show written by Alexander Carey, and it's a modern day origin story of the character Brian Mills, and I play Christina Hart, who's sort of like his mentor, I guess, who has to help him learn some of the skills that you see in the Taken films.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it takes place before Taken, and this is sort of a prequel, right?
Kind of, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Modern day prequel, so it's not. It's kind of because the films were quite a while ago, so it's not exactly on the timeline.
Right. Yeah. It takes
modern day origin story.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it takes place in today's climate, but it is a prequel, and you play the head of this secret government agency. You're not the CIA or the FBI or something a little different, aren't you?
No, it's the ODNI. The Director of National Intelligence.
That's right. And you guys have the secret task force, and you guys take care of stuff all around the world and domestically.
Yes, exactly. Reach is long. Nice.
Yeah, and you don't get much credit for it, for the actions you do. It seems like that credit goes to other people, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're in the intelligence community, I mean, part of the point is the covert nature of your job, and so it's not exactly like you're going to be up for awards anytime soon or accolades. And that's one of the things I really admire about this community, that they put themselves on the line every day, and they aren't recognized.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great action in this film, and you were involved in a car wreck on, TV show, not film. In a car wreck, did you have to do your own stunt, or did you have a double for that?
I would say that I had a double for that car wreck. There was nobody in that car except for this amazing stunt woman who was such a boss. I was watching this car flip upside down in the air and watched it smash on the ground and was so worried. And we all went running over there afterwards after the stunt was done, and she just walked out of the car like nothing had happened. It was incredible. Not being any flipping cars. Be happy about that.
No, I bet they wouldn't. So the car's flipped over, and then it shows you kicking the door open and then coming out, and it's just a great TV show. What attracted you to the project?
Well, the writing. The writing was so clear, and the character was really interesting in that she's in this, sort of terrain of moral ambiguity, and for me that was something that was really interesting to play. And you don't often see women in that role, where you have both sovereignty and conflict.
That's right. That's a really good point. And so Taken is on their new episode coming up tonight, right, on Monday night?
Yes, and the cast will all be live tweeting tonight.
Oh, cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So it's kind of like watching with a big, large community, and you're all talking to each other. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Okay, well, tell me about this new movie you have out. It's called Before I Fall.
Right. It's a film that I did with Zoe Deutsch, and she plays a young woman, Sam Kingston, who basically has to relive the last day of her life. So the film has a kind of a Groundhog's Day structure with a little bit of Mean Girls in there for good measure, because she's with a group of girls that aren't the nicest group of girls, and she has to figure out where she went wrong on this day, and she has to right her wrongs and realize that she's not defined by her flaws. And I play her mother, and I'm having to watch her go through this difficult time, which also means that she's not always so nice to me at moments, and yet still I, love her despite what she's going through.
Gotcha. That sounds like a really interesting concept. And Zoe, she's so pretty, that actress. It's got to be fun to work with her.
More than that, she's so powerful, and she's so great at what she does. She's incredible in the film. Like, it's a huge task to carry this film, because, as you can imagine, time-wise, you're trying to figure out where you are, which day you're working on. It's very emotional, because it seems like you're talking about mortality, like you're talking about death, but really you're talking about life, and you're celebrating life and relationships. And this woman just took it on her shoulders and ran with it. She was phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks like a great movie. I've not seen it yet, but it's getting great reviews. What drew you to this project?
I just, with that, it's not a big part, but I just wanted to be part of that story, because it really talks about how on any given day, at any moment, you can change the rest of your life. And I thought that was a really powerful story, and I wanted to sign up to be part of the story.
Yeah, I think we all kind of go through that. We think, what is something I would change about my life? Is there anything big that you would change about your life?
I don't know. I'm really kind of happy with the way things are right now. I have to say, there's nothing I could change right now. I'll hold that card in my back pocket if anything comes up in the future. But things are pretty lovely.
Well, things are very lovely for you. You've had an incredible career, and you're so beautiful. I don't know how you stay looking so young.
Well, I've got a really good hair and makeup team. So, but you see, there's somebody who's working on me with hair and makeup, so.
All right, well, your projects Before I Fall in the theaters now. Taken, the TV show, doesn't premiere tonight. The next episode is this evening, and you're going to live tweet it. That's going to be fun. One more question. Do you still have the sweatshirt from Flashdance?
Oh, I think it's in storage, actually, somewhere.
Okay, but you still have it.
I think so. I haven't visited the storage unit anytime soon, but I think it's in there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. It was a real pleasure, and I hope to talk to you soon. Best of luck with your projects.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a great day. There she goes, Jennifer Beals. She was very nice. I really liked her. So I will post that interview on jackontheweb.com. It'll be on the All Access page. I'll call it, Interview with Jennifer Beals or whatever. So if you would want to revisit it, you can go to that All Access page on jackontheweb.com. I will be on the air here in just a little bit from 11 to 5. I've got $500 to give away, plus concert tickets. You know how it goes. We just give away like crazy on Jack FM. So join me on the air later at 11. Thanks for watching. Now, if I could figure out how to turn this off, that'd be awesome. Oh, the finish button.
KQRS News and Information here at KQ. Jennifer's ready to go?
Yes.
Jennifer, how are you?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. I was thinking of you yesterday, and I'll tell you why. I'm driving down the street, and I hear Maniac, and I thought of you immediately. You can dance very quickly. That's all I know. Christina Hart in Taken, Mondays, 9 p.m. Central Time on NBC from executive producer Luc Besson. Taken, The Fifth Element, comes a modern-day edge-of-your-seat thriller that follows the origin story of younger, hungrier, former Green Beret Brian Mills as he deals with a personal tragedy that shakes his world as he fights to overcome the trauma of the incident and exact revenge. Mills is pulled into a career as a deadly CIA operative. Well, you can tell us more about it. I want to hear it from you. It's a great idea, actually.
You get to see his origin story. You get to see the Brian Mills origin story set in modern day.
And, you know, it's one of those things where you think you know who Brian Mills is from the films, but you get to see his formative years in the TV series. You get to see how he became that character that you love in the films. And I play Christina Hart, who's the Special Deputy Director at ODNI, which is the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. And I oversee an elite team of secret government operatives who basically deal with America's national security emergencies.
That's a great idea.
And I have very selfish reasons to bring him into the fold.
Okay.
I mean, we both have selfish reasons. I mean, he's you know, doesn't join the fold just, you know, because he's dying to join up. He joins the fold because he wants to avenge his sister's murder. But we both come to learn each other's secrets and understand a little bit more about each other as the series goes on. And tonight, in the episode tonight, one of my secrets, one of Christina's Hart's secrets, is revealed.
Jennifer, you're not evil, are you?
Well, you know, sometimes she has to do a little bit of dirty work, but not evil at all. Not evil at all, but willing to hold the dark space so that everyone can go to Starbucks and go get their coffee in safety.
Well, see, and that's what we're looking for in our lives today, aren't we?
Can I tell Jennifer that you got me into welding?
Really?
Yes. And once I got into welding and realized none of them looked like you, it got me out of welding.
I didn't hear that last part. Somebody was laughing over it.
Nobody looks like you, and that got me out of welding.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I think he may have just told you you're very pretty. I'm not
Very
sure,
pretty.
but I think so.
And a good welder.
Well, thank you.
So that's a good. You know what I like about this whole idea is the fact that, and I'm glad that Dave Mordahl brought that up, because basically, a very pretty woman can be a very strong figure as well, can run the show.
Sure.
I mean, that's very, very. I like that a lot. See, I say that because if I didn't,
and it's possible for a handsome man to run the country, as we saw with JFK or Obama.
I don't know about.
They don't necessarily, you know, aren't mutually exclusive.
What's wrong with LBJ?
Yeah.
Not the prettiest.
Grover Cleveland.
I'm sure once you got to know them, they were very handsome.
Can I say something to her, Tom?
Absolutely.
You know, I've always admired your work and as an actress, and there were two movies you did, and the Feast of All Saints, and
I love that.
And Devil in a Blue Dress. They were awesome. And
Thank you. I loved working on Devil.
Oh, I tell you, you're one of my favorite actresses, for sure.
Oh, thank you. And it was such a pleasure to work with Denzel as well on Devil in a Blue Dress, as well as I got to work with him in Book of Eli. And it's always an education, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much fun working with him.
Can I say, Jennifer, you got me into leg warmers.
Jennifer, aren't you glad you came on the Let's Fawn Over Jennifer Beals show?
Jennifer, could you...
I'm talking about her great acting. You know,
I know.
These guys are like, they're off track.
Jennifer, could you get John out of leg warmers?
Only John can do that for himself.
There you heard it, John.
Thank you.
So you got it all straightened away. I think the whole idea of a Taken series is a great idea. That first film, I remember when I saw it, it had, for me, that very first Taken film had kind of a surprise, not really a surprise ending, but just the way, well, I guess it wasn't more or less a surprise ending because you didn't, well, at least I didn't see it coming. It got rather violent at the end, Jennifer. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
No, but I have to say that I love the films. Like there's a complete, you know, fantasy gratification that you have watching the films, and what I love about the series is that you get to understand how that guy became that guy. You get to understand how Brian Mills becomes the Brian Mills of the films. You know, it's really like watching that point in the Spider-Man movies where he's learning to use his web. Mm-hmm. You know. I love those parts of the film.
No, and I think the world needs heroes, whether they be female, male, whatever the situation. because for a bit there we got to wait. All of our heroes for a while were all the. I'm not a big superhero movie kind of guy. As a matter of fact, I went, and nothing against the film because everybody loved it, but my wife and I went to see Logan and I fell asleep. I just am not into. I like real heroes, like Green Berets or strong women or whatever. I like that.
Well, I think in some ways we can identify with those people more, obviously, and I think trying to understand how somebody becomes that is really interesting. Like, how do you get to become a Green Beret? And once you're a Green Beret, in Brian Mills' case, like, what do you do with those skills, and can you further expand on those skills to protect people? And I think that's one of the things that the series takes on.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good thing. I really do. And talking to you, like I said, by total coincidence, I'm driving along yesterday, and I suppose whenever anybody hears that song, they see you dancing to it in their heads, I would imagine.
Maybe.
I mean,
they associate it with other things. Maybe they associate it with getting very sick at a bar, and that's their memory.
No! It's the highest compliment. You were in pretty good shape in that movie, I just want to point that out.
Thank you.
It's all true. Christina Hart and Taken, Mondays, 9 p.m. Central Time. It's on NBC, of course. Jennifer Beals, thank you so much for your tolerance of all these guys.
94.7 and 970 WMAY tonight on NBC. You're going to get a chance to kind of see how it all began. The Liam Neeson movie Taken. But how did this guy get to be have his special set of skills? I guess is the question. Part of the answer is on the phone with Jennifer Beals. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is great to have you on, and what a incredibly dramatic, exciting action role for you.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. I mean, my character isn't in the midst of the action that often because she's really sending her team out to do all the action, but every now and again I'm in a car flipping over, or something goes on fire, or somebody gets shot. And
how fun for you.
Yeah.
Well, and tell us a little bit about this show, because it is kind of the prequel of the movies that we've come to know with Liam Neeson. So do you guys feel any pressure to live up to those standards of what the movie has already set?
Well, I mean, I personally don't feel it because my character isn't in the film.
Right.
Okay. This is a new character. I play Christina Hart, and she oversees an elite team of secret government operatives who basically deal with America's national security emergency. So this is a new character, and she takes Brian Mills, the character from the films, under her wing, and is introducing him to the wealth of culture, the power in that office, and field experience to help mold him into what she needs him to be for her own purposes. And so he joins her group for selfish reasons because he wants to revenge the death of his sister, and she recruits him for selfish reasons. But little by little over the course of the series, they start to learn each other's secrets, and their relationship changes. And one of the bigger secrets that Christina Hart has, in fact, probably her biggest secret, gets revealed in tonight's episode.
So where about on the timeline are we, this show versus where the movies pick up?
Well, you know that Brian Mills is a Green Beret, and he's just finished his service, and he goes home to visit his family, and he's with his sister on a train, and his sister is murdered.
Gotcha.
And so his goal is to figure out who murdered his sister and why, and it's actually connected to his work as a Green Beret, and so now he's found this outlet with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence to try to track the person who killed his sister.
We are talking with the lovely Jennifer Beals, who stars tonight in Taken on NBC. Is it okay to say that, the lovely Jennifer Beals? I guess I could say worse, but I...
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I felt
you should say the Yale graduate, Jennifer Beals. I don't think people know that about you. And when I was reading the bio, I mean, obviously everyone knows Flashdance. I didn't realize you make that movie while you're still in college, then you go back to school. What was that like? Because men are idiots. So how did you even make it through with guys probably talking to you all the time about that movie?
They didn't at all. I mean,
really?
You're at college and everybody's hard at work on their own projects. Nobody was like that at all.
Oh, wow. Look at Yale. They are better than us.
Yeah, no kidding.
No. I think they're just really too busy.
Yeah.
And you took some. There was you had a big hit, and then you took some time to yourself, and then came back into life. And what is it like, kind of returning back into, I guess, civilian world, and then going back into stardom?
Well, I always just kept working, and sometimes projects were very visible, and sometimes they weren't. But I worked on a show called The L Word for many years, and that was really interesting. And I did Chicago Code with Sean Ryan and Jason Clarke, and that was a really interesting adventure. And Devil in a Blue Dress and Book of Eli and lots of films. And I have a film out now called Before I Fall with Zoe Deutsch, which is a really terrific project that's based on a Lauren Oliver book. And I just finished another project for Amazon called The Last Tycoon, where I play Margot Taft, a big movie star in the 30s.
Cool.
So there's always something going on.
Back to the L Word quickly. When you got that role, did you feel pressure being a heterosexual person playing that role with that community and everything going on?
It's funny, I didn't. And I think, that's partially because times were different then.
Yeah.
But I did feel like I wanted to be able to be helpful. I wanted to be helpful to those, young women who maybe not, they might not have access to a community, where they could see themselves reflected back to themselves. And so in that way, I wanted to be helpful to those women so that they could have, kind of a community, even albeit on television.
What a great way to approach that. The show is called Taken. It looks fantastic. Yes. It comes on tonight on NBC, and it looks like it's going to be a great show and a great lead up to the movies that we know. Congratulations on this.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of action, and all the action is driven from character, and so it makes it all that much more exciting.
Thanks for visiting us so early in the morning.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Because what I see is a man who is wired to protect others. It's how you're built. It's who you are. It's why you tackled those gunmen on the train in the first place, to protect those 93 other passengers in that car.
I just did what I did.
But when you failed to protect your own sister...
Who the hell are you to
tell me that's not how you felt?
It's how I still feel.
Listen, taking Carlos Mejia alive is vital to national security, but acting on the intelligence that he will share with us, make no mistake, is where we're really going to earn our money.
Well, we love the movies. Now we can love the TV series, Taken. That's Jennifer Beals right there, and she's on the phone right now with us.
First Yale graduate we got on the phone this morning.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Good morning.
You did graduate, didn't you?
I did graduate.
We had a friend of ours, a couple of our friends of ours went to Yale. We couldn't go there because they wouldn't accept us. But I'm always curious when people that have careers, and now granted you were really young when you started, then when they go back to college, how tough is that? Because when I went to college, I didn't have a career. I just had to go to college. How tough was it to wake up and go to school knowing you already had a kind of a career going on?
Oh, it was such a joy. It was all kinds of research, and you got to just follow your curiosity.
See, therein
lies. And it also helped you, become more disciplined, for sure.
That's how we're different.
Well, yeah, she's a Yale grad. Love your work, Jennifer. I was a big fan, of course, from way back. We're about the similar ages, so we grew up watching you. Actually, we grew up, we were the same age as you, older than you, checking you out for years, checking you out. But I love the word. The L Word was a great show. I love that show. And
thank you.
And now Taken is based on the Liam Neeson movies, obviously. But he's a younger guy in this one, and you're like the.
And who do you play?
Yeah, you're in charge, right?
Well, it's kind of like a modern day origin story. Is really what it is. And if you've seen the films,
yes, we have.
You think you know who Brian Mills is, but you don't really know until you see the TV series, and you get to see how his formative years really, and how he became that hero that you know and love.
That's true.
In the film. And if you haven't seen the films, you get to basically see this, amazing guy become a totally kick-ass action hero.
How do you choose?
And I play Christina Hart, who is his mentor of sorts. She's the special deputy director at the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and has her own group of black ops, and so she takes him in is teaching him.
That's a good point. Tricks. We never knew why Liam Neeson could kick ass. You're right. We never did. We never did.
So we get the prequel here.
This is the younger Liam Neeson, obviously. Well, younger guy, obviously, playing a different actor. How do you choose your roles? I mean, you probably get offered a lot of things.
It's really mostly a visceral thing of what excites me, and perhaps what scares me a little bit, and it's also the team that would be around me. And in this case, I got to work with Alex Carey, who's such a great writer, and my friend Alex Graves directed the pilot, and so it's always exciting working with him, and I knew that we had a great cast.
Do you read every script that is presented to you? Do you skim it, or do you have other people you trust look at it?
Oh, gosh, no, I read it. I like reading it. I mean, and also, how else would you decide? For me, I need to read it myself. I couldn't imagine having somebody else do it, because it's such a personal experience.
We barely read our contract, so once again, you're that's why you're Jennifer Beals and we're not.
Yeah, I just check to see that we're making the same amount of money, and then I sign it. Yeah.
But she does read the script. Jennifer Beals with us. The show's course is called Taken. Also, you're going to be in a new movie called Before I Fall, currently in theaters. What is that? I know that title. Why do I know this?
It's a book by Lauren Oliver, and it's an amazing story. It's the film has sort of a Groundhog's Day structure in that there's a young woman, Sam Kingston, who's a senior in high school. She's kind of with a little bit of a mean girl group. She may not be enacting terrible things, but she's a bystander, which, is pretty awful in and of itself. And she has to relive the last day of her life until she gets it right.
Oh, that's right.
So that means every morning she wakes up and it's the same day, and she's got to examine what she did right and what she did wrong, and really come to the understanding that she's not defined by her flaws.
That's right.
And I play her mother, and I'm having to watch her go through, this painful experience of being a senior in high school and perhaps running with people who are flawed themselves. And it's really this beautiful story that basically boils down to, at any given moment, on any given day in your life, you can change the rest of your life.
We follow you on
that's a really fun story that I want to be a part of.
Follow you on Twitter, and you're opinionated. Would you consider yourself an activist?
I would consider myself an activist, but it's very difficult to even say that, because the people that I got to meet, like say even when I was doing the L Word, and the people that I met when I went to Standing Rock, I mean, those people are on the lines, every moment of the day, working to progress the cause further.
Now we're like-minded.
I can't say that I'm like that, but I do have a voice, and I do use my voice, and I think it's incredibly important.
But what do you say to people who say that celebrities should keep their mouth shut about politics?
I hate that.
Oh, it's so silly. I'm still part of a democracy.
Right.
And I need to partake in that democracy.
Now, well, we lean the same way you do, so then we'll clarify that right away. We're libtard snowflakes ourselves.
Right.
So,
well, not so dedicated that we go up to North Dakota.
No, we got to work.
That's pretty.
We got to be here. That is, yeah. Well, you grew up there, Todd. So
I did.
You did your time.
I know what it's like.
Jennifer Beals with us. Yeah, that's crap, because you're right. Because a plumber has an opinion, so why can't an actor or a musician? I never got that. And
of course,
we all
absolutely.
have opinions.
And just because you have this platform,
right?
By virtue of acting, doesn't mean that you can't use it for other things.
Jennifer,
I think it's important to use it.
Oh, I think it's completely important to use it, right?
Best ability.
Do you get the haters? Because you should read our Twitter and our Facebook.
Say that again?
Do you get haters? Because you should read our Twitter and Facebook.
I haven't really seen them, and the times that I have seen them, I just you shrug it off and you move on.
Yeah. Good for you.
You can't live your life for other people.
No, that's for sure.
That would be exhausting.
Yeah. Apparently, we're just easier to hate. I mean, who hates Jennifer Beals?
I don't hate Jennifer. Everybody loves Jennifer.
I've never heard that word come out of anybody's mouth.
No, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Jennifer, before we let you go, I know you've done a lot of great stuff. We always ask a lot of actors this question, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but what's the worst thing you were ever in?
If you could
I'm not answering that.
Nobody does. I know. It sounds like you thought
it was painful. Let me say that.
They were
painful, but I still got paid. But it was painful.
Yeah, I know that. People never want to. Sometimes they don't want to mention it because they're afraid they hurt somebody's feelings. But there's something out there, right?
Oh, of course. Of course, I think there's more than one.
Yeah, it sounded like there was more than
That's where
one.
I'm going to go.
Okay, you're not going to go there. All right. Well, good luck with Taken and everything else you do, Jennifer. Appreciate it. Take
Thank
care of
you.
yourself.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time.
Bye now.
Jennifer Beals. We did not ask about Flash Dance because she doesn't want to hear talk about that, which is fine.
Well,
Movie's
you can
1980.
understand.